I am honored to read this resolution proclaiming November 2024 as Veterans History and Appreciation Month in the County of San Luis Obispo. Whereas the people of the County of San Luis Obispo have great admiration and the utmost gratitude for all the men and women who have selfishly served their country and this community in the armed forces to protect and preserve the freedoms enjoyed by our citizens and all Americans. And whereas freedom is not free, every veteran swears an oath to serve and to be willing to lay down their life for our freedoms. And whereas every veteran has paid a price by leaving their families and communities to place themselves in harm's way for the good of all. And whereas many citizens of our community have given the ultimate sacrifice by laying down their lives while serving in the armed forces, and whereas the contributions and sacrifices of the 14,027 men and women living in San Luis Obispo County who served in the armed forces have been vital in maintaining the freedoms, the way of life enjoyed by our citizens and others around the world. Whereas California Military and Veterans Code Section 1365 designates the second full week in November as Veterans Appreciation Week. And whereas during Veterans History and Appreciation Month, all levels of government and private citizens will come together to honor and recognize our veterans for the great sacrifice they have made defending freedom and to pay deep respect for those who have made the ultimate sacrifice. Now, therefore, be it resolved in order that the Board of Supervisors of the County of San Luis Obispo, State of California, does hereby proclaim November 2024 Veterans History and Appreciation Month in the County of San Luis Obispo, urging all citizens and government leaders to honor the sacrifices made by our veterans and their families and pay homage to the men and women who have given their lives defending freedom and preserving our way of life.
Supervisors, I once again appreciate having the opportunity to come up here and discuss all the great work that not just our office is able to accomplish in a year, but what our community is able to do. So Chris, if you'll move it forward, please. I just wanted to do a quick organizational overview for those that don't know. We're a small team. We're a team of 10. 2 admin assistants, 4 veteran services representatives, 1 outreach coordinator, 1 admin officer, a student intern, and myself, the county veteran services officer. We hold national accreditation, state accreditation, and every single accreditation that you can have to file claims on behalf of veterans. We are governed by the California Association of County Veteran Services Officers. They provide mentorship, training, and collaboration. And I happen to be the first vice president of that organization. We have locations all throughout the county, Rio Grande Library, 801 Grand Avenue at the Veterans Memorial Building here in San Luis Obispo, and then the Paso Robles Vets Hall. I love this slide. So we filed 8,353 claims last year, had over 5,800 appointments, brought in $12.5 million in new benefits, and are right around $110 million for what we're responsible for bringing to the county annually. VA research indicates, I say this every year, that every dollar that the VA brings into a county provides a 5-time economic driver. So our little county our little county office is responsible for driving for almost $500 million a year through this economy, and we're very proud of that fact. Our surveys are great. A 98% client satisfaction rate with our surveys, 86% with our facilities, however. But that's okay because the county has stepped up. We're getting a new office put in the Rio Grande Library, which is greatly needed. And hopefully soon we'll be discussing what's happening in Paso Robles with the new VA community-based outpatient clinic that will be coming in because we will be co-locating with them, so that we can have more continuity of care. In terms of outreach, we were able to successfully get a CalVet Mental Health Services Act outreach grant. Just in this last quarter, we've had it for a quarter. 33 outreach events we participated in. We've engaged with 1,878 veterans, hosted 3 resource fairs, and had anywhere from 25 to 35 community collaborators at each of those events. And then you'll see last year we also brought we're responsible for bringing back the wall that heals. We are doing great work. In terms of what we're doing outside of filing claims, engaging with the community, you see there we have a little food pantry that's probably moving 400 to 500 pounds of food through it a week. We have a lot of partner organizations. We sit on and support a lot of boards because we agree, where we really believe in being out there and trying to be connected with our partners in the community that are trying to help our veterans. And I think that is pretty much all I have. Obviously, we don't have questions unless there are any questions, but I always appreciate the opportunity to come up here and kind of brag on the team. We are blessed for your support and our community support, and we're making great strides in this community. And you're going to see more of me soon because we have some big announcements coming up that I think are really going to positively impact our veteran community. So thank you.
Thank you, Morgan. Thank you so much. And we do have one request to speak, and it's Dennis Jevons. I should have kept you at the front row, Dennis.
Good morning, Board of Supervisors. My name's Dennis Javens. I'm a Vietnam veteran. I serve on the Central Coast Veterans Helping Veterans Board of Directors, as well as some other veterans organizations. My particular unit in Vietnam, all 3,000 of us, we get together every year and have for the last 35 years. And we've noticed something. We're getting older. There are getting fewer and fewer of us. So recently, when I heard of Morgan having this proclamation being brought forward to you guys, I wanted to extend it a little bit. It's nice to be appreciated, but we're kind of a well-kept secret in most cities. And in this county, we're a very well-kept secret. If you go to any of the Memorial Day ceremonies or Veteran Day ceremonies, there's a lot of gray-haired people there, not a lot of young people. And sitting back with my lovely degree that I paid a fortune for at USC in marketing, it came to me that we don't do our own outreach as veterans groups. We host these different events, but it's usually the same people every year that come to them. So what we're going to do with this particular program is we're going to reach out to all the veteran groups in the county, and we're going to reach out to all the city councils to get them to do the same thing that you're doing today by making the month of November Veterans History and Appreciation Month. And during the month of November, we're going to plan on having something every single weekend, following the lead of some other organizations that have done a very good job of that. And then also we're going to reach out to the school districts because it's kind of sad that they don't seem to know that these old guys walking around the community, and some young guys, what they did and what they did for our country and what they've done for our communities. So we're going to be reaching out. I have a couple of friends of mine that are retired superintendents of schools, and they're going to help me try to bridge that program with the schools. There's always a little resistance with schools. But the idea is we want to teach our kids about who veterans are, what they've contributed, not only for their service, but when they come back home, what they've contributed to their communities. Morgan just told me something the other day. He was trying to get me to volunteer for something. The city of Paso Robles, I guess the public library that's there on Fridays has veterans come in and read to kids. And I thought that was a fabulous thing, so I think I'm going to steal that idea from them. But I will be back sometime. I have a whole year to get this thing put together to give you an update as to how we're doing with this particular program. But we're trying to get people to maybe love us and adore us and understand us a little bit. I'm also, Central Coast Veterans was started 10 years ago with Judge Trice, Dan Dow, and a few other people to put a veterans treatment court in this county. And we provide mentors to these young men. And if you don't know anything about Veterans Treatment Court, I invite you to come on the first and third Saturday or Friday of every month to Department 10, which is Judge Moreno's court, to watch probably the only court you're going to walk into that's not a punitive court, but a fun court. The judge jokes with people. We actually can touch prisoners because they're guys we're going to be working with. And then we also have an outreach program that we had to put on hold because we ran out of money. It's our patient care program where we supply services to veterans that don't have money to do certain things. One of my favorite ones is we've had wives come to us and say, my husband's 100% disabled. I can't even go to get my nails done. So we send somebody over there to let her go for half a day and go get her nails done. We have built probably 15 different wheelchair ramps for veterans because the VA is always 6 months to a year behind in anything they do. So these are things I want to present to you guys so you understand what we're up to and why we're doing this. But this is all good. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Morgan. And please thank the team for us. So thank you, guys. All right, board comments. Supervisor Ortiz-Lake?
Yes, I love this concept of the entire month. I think that was a good marketing value out of USC there, lunch meat. So it's so important because yesterday we could see how that there aren't enough young people. You know, it's been something for the Iraqi, Afghan vets, and while Morgan is one, they still haven't quite felt the same welcoming, or I'm not sure exactly. There's a whole bunch of reasons, I think, and so I think this is a great effort. You know, at the county, I posted that every day at the county is Veterans Day. And the work that you're doing, Morgan, and Chris, your team, has been remarkable. I have firsthand experience of knowing a vet who has now has 80% disability identified from something from Vietnam that went undetected, and after a number of trials and tribulations in life came forth. And what happened in the last 2 years is remarkable in that gentleman's life. And so thank you, you know, on behalf of him and for so many others. And I think that the other part is the history part. Yesterday, at our Vets Hall, we had the Korean Consul General come from Los Angeles, and he came to say thank you for those who had served in the Korean War, and they were recognized with a Medal of Peace. Is that, it was a peace? Yeah, it was, I have a picture of it. But what was so fascinating about what he said was that the same thing that we often say to our vets, thank you for my freedom. But what this Consul General from Korea said, thank you for our freedom. For it's a war that is also known as the Forgotten War, that in Korea, it's not forgotten. And you changed the trajectory of our lives tremendously, and that they don't forget. And so I think it's those history pieces that are so important for vets to hear and for the American public to hear in general. So anyway, I'm done. Thank you.
Supervisor Gibson?
Thank you, Madam Chair. The history certainly leads to the appreciation, and I'm glad we have that. But let me turn this to thanks to our veteran service officer. At a ceremony in Cambria yesterday, a good friend who's a veteran was explaining to me what your office did to get that person benefits that they deserved. And the way in which you do it, the way in which your team does it is extraordinary. So easy to say thank you for your service, but the tangible benefits that you provide to our benefits are really important, and I really appreciate you being here. So we'll go forth and look forward to folks knowing more about this wonderful program. Thank you.
Supervisor Pashon?
I also want to thank you for all you do for the 14,027 veterans in our community and in our county. Yesterday in Atascadero at the Faces of Freedom, I also want to thank Supervisor Arnold for sponsoring a lot of that event yesterday. It was a great event, and also the one in Paso Robles that I've attended. So for all the veterans out there, know that the county does have services if you're listening to this at home, and we want you to get in touch with us so we can help you have a great life. Thank you.
Supervisor Paulding?
Thank you, Chair. I too want to extend my appreciation to you, Morgan, and your whole team. You do great work. And to Dennis as well, thank you for being here and for sharing about the work that you're doing. I think one way that we as a county can honor veterans, and I hope to discuss this later when we talk about the fees that we charge for use of our county facilities, is we could honor veterans on Veterans Day by waiving entrance fees to some of our parks like Lopez Lake or Santa Margarita Lake. So I'll be suggesting that under a separate item today. I think that was item 30. But again, for all the veterans in the community who are here and watching from home, thank you for your service.
Great. And Morgan, I want to thank you too. You've done a fantastic job. Now, over all the years that we worked together off and on, and I can vouch for you. You've done a fantastic job. Your heart's in it, and you've done a great amount of good and provided a lot more to the veterans of this county. So we appreciate you. And I'll say yesterday, as Supervisor Pashang was talking about the Faces of Freedom, the whole the setting that's been created up in Atascadero is just amazing. And it was a packed crowd yesterday, North County citizens coming out to pay respect to the veterans in the community. So yeah, I think our county certainly acknowledges and respects and loves our veterans, and you're doing a great job to help make things better. So thanks for being here and letting us recognize and acknowledge our veterans today. So thank you.